What's going on, Infected? It's Wolf of the Quarantine, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a game that was sent to me to review that's coming to Kickstarter by the name of Processing. Now, the theme of Processing is the Earth has actually been conquered by an alien race, actually an alien federation, so it's a conglomeration of a bunch of different races, and we apparently held out for an outstanding 42 minutes on their invasion. So now they're not really sure whether it's humans or cows that are the sentient race or the intelligent race on the planet, and select people, which are the players, have been selected to pass judgment on who is going to be processed into food, because Soylent Green is people, or probing, or keeping them safe. I should also mention before I get started here that everything you see here is a prototype copy of the game, so of course the final product is going to be subject to change. If what you see here looks interesting, definitely check out the link down below. It'll take you directly to their Kickstarter once it's available, and it'll cover way more information than I can possibly cover in this video. So playing a game of Processing is actually pretty simple. So what you're going to do is each player is going to start out with 3 of each of the different types of voting tokens. You have 3 probe, 3 processing, and 3 free. And then everybody, depending on the number of players, you're going to get so many of these agenda cards. Now, as I mentioned, the alien race, or the alien federation that had conquered you, is like a conglomeration of a bunch of different aliens. And I don't know if I'm using the right word there, but it's a whole bunch of different alien species. So that's what those agenda cards are. Those are all the different races that are on like this council, and you're wanting to appease certain ones. So for example, like the vegan race, they want you to free all the cows, but maybe process and probe everybody else they're okay with, kind of. And that's kind of the theme of the different alien races. They all have they want you to process one, they want you to probe another, and they don't want you to do something to another, or maybe they're indifferent to one or whatever. So what you're going to be doing is every person, starting with the active player, is going to place 1 vote, going all the way around the board. You're going to place a vote on these little squares that are on the alien races. Once you place it, if it's full, then they immediately go to whatever the majority is. So if it had 4 spaces and 2 are, I don't know, processing, 1 is probe, 1 is free, then it's going to be processed. So you'd put it up above that. And you're going to basically keep doing that around and around and around for so many rounds, and then you're going to, at the end, reveal whatever agenda you would like, and then you're going to score points based on that. And you're going to do that until all of your agendas have been used. This is going to pretty much continue for 3 rounds. You're going to be doing the voting. You're putting out more things to vote on at the end of every round. You're always going to make sure that there's at least 3 separate cards out. If there's ever a draw, they actually just get removed from the game, so they're not even factored in. But there's also an alternative scoring, essentially. If you anger the different races, if, for example, the vegan race, if cows get slaughtered, you actually go up the negative route instead, because they did not like the fact that you went against them. And there's a couple of variants where you can play that whoever has the highest, you get points based on it. But regardless, whoever is the highest on that angry meter is just removed from the game after the 3rd scoring phase when you're doing the end game tallying. So you don't want those points. But one of the variants is, even though the whoever angers them the most is removed, you could also play that after that you get bonus points based on where you're at. So it makes you want to go up on that track, but you don't want to go up too far. So I definitely recommend always using that variant. So what do I think about the game? Well, the humor and theme of the game I definitely enjoyed. Reading through the rulebook, there's a lot of little quirks and little jabs to make things funny, like your species survived an outstanding 42 minutes and for global domination, stuff like that. It's really funny. But then you have your little player tags here, the hello my name is, and for example you have NCC 1864, you have LV 426, you have Laborer J5, and there's a whole bunch of them. They're all references to just different things. You have number 9, Worker 451, Joe 2505, Volunteer 4-LOM, C-57 Delta, DN38416, Red 2, and Detainee 1138. So they're all references to different sci-fi movies, like, you know, J5, number 5 is alive! So I really, really like the theme of the game. But the gameplay itself is actually really, really simple. And not in a bad way. I don't want that taken the wrong way. Because you wind up having a lot of around the table kind of bribes, and look, if you vote this with this, I'll help you out later, or, you know, please, somebody's putting down maybe I don't know, harvest, and it's something you really want to save because you're wanting to play one of your cards that give you points for saving or whatever, and so you're bribing them and you're pleading with that person, please put down this and I will help you on this one, because maybe a different card, you'll be able to maybe sway a different vote somewhere else, or maybe it works better with your actual cards that you're wanting to play, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things going on in the game, and I really enjoyed that. The simple fact that all the game is on your turn, you're going to put out a single vote token, move to the next person. They're going to put out in any one of the different cards that are out, they're going to put out another single vote token, and so on and so forth. But where the game gets really interesting is at the end of every round, you only get a few vote tokens back. So if you used all of your vote tokens for processing, for example, and now you're out of processing vote tokens, but maybe your card only allows for processing, for example. It only gives points for that, so now you're screwed. So there's a lot of thought process going on of, okay, well, how do I want to vote this round? You don't want to start tanking all of your votes, because then you're going to be forced to vote into one. For example, my brother at the end of the game had mainly, I think, save tokens, and he didn't need any of them because all the cards that he got were just saves. So throughout the course of the game, you're wanting to use that information. Okay, well, this one's it's got 3 spots, and it's already got 2 saves. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get rid of one of my probes. That way, it's a wasted vote. It doesn't matter, but it fills it up, gets the card out, gets it up to where it needs to be, and I got rid of one of those. So that way, you don't have to get rid of one of your tokens that you're going to need later. And that's really it. It's a very basic game. I highly recommend playing with the variant where on the negative track where you're angering the aliens. I feel you're always going to want to play with that variant, because it gives you a reason to be up on that track, but you don't want to be the highest on that track. And so that winds up adding another little level of tension to it, because you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and then you realize nobody else went up on it, and you just went up, so you're like, oh crap, now I'm going to lose the game just no matter what. At the end of the game, I'm out. So now you're hoping that other people are also going to kind of try to crawl up that, and you're forcing things to go where they don't want them to, and so it winds up being this big struggle back and forth. But it's a good, fun, silly game. There's lots of putting things in people's butt jokes that go around. Lots of Soylent Green is people jokes going around. It's a very, very fun game. I definitely recommend. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.